Hallo, herzlich willkommen zurück in, ja.
Bah.
Wir sind der Sache auf der Spur, würde ich sagen. Wir könnten jetzt wahrscheinlich Mr. DeVay konfrontieren. Wir suchen eigentlich noch das Alibi, denn wie es aussieht...
Das Alibi, das Motiv.
Ja, das Motiv. Ja, und dann vielleicht auch ein Alibi für ihn. Beides. Denn sie hat sich scheinbar spontan entzündet aufgrund dieses Leinsamenöls, mit dem die Sachen da getränkt waren. Ne? Das dauert wohl ein paar Tage, dass es dann soweit ist. Und just ein paar Tage vorher wurde das Bild von Mr. DeVay geliefert. Sollen wir ihn darauf mal ansprechen?
Ja, können wir machen.
Wir haben immer noch nicht
Aber wir können auch erst die anderen Sachen nochmal abquatschen.
Ja,
nicht, dass uns wieder was fehlt und er dann...
Ja, bei hier war nichts mehr. Da kommen wir nicht rein.
Genau, sondern alles, was geht.
Bei den Andrews, ja, mit der habe ich schon gesprochen. Da sind wir gerade... Beim Anwalt sind wir noch nicht reingekommen.
Nee,
wobei,
weil wir Beweis brauchen.
Wir haben den Bericht
Richtig.
bekommen. Dann können wir das gerade mal machen. Das müsste nämlich reichen jetzt. Den Autopsiebericht vorzeigen.
Pardon, sir.
Yes?
Perhaps Mr. Usher will see me when he sees this.
Oh, what's that?
A report from Dr. Malcolm Edwards, the city coroner, confirming Miss Lathan's untimely demise.
Let me see that. Oh my. Wait one moment, would you?
Sehr gespannt, wie der Typ aussieht. Also. Ah.
Martin, what is the meaning of this?
The gentleman who brought that is a private investigator. He's waiting outside to see you.
Send him in then.
Sehr gut.
You heard him, Mr. Fordham. You may go inside and see Mr. Usher.
Jetzt
Sehr gut.
Thank you kindly.
fällt das Puzzle.
Weil es ist immer ja klüger, erst mit den anderen Leuten zu quatschen.
Ein Puzzleteil jetzt findet zum anderen.
Hast du gerade gesagt, jetzt fehlt das
So, a
Puzzle?
private
Ja, ich
investigator,
wollte
are you?
irgendwas
right.
anderes
Jonas
machen.
Fordham's my name.
Jonas Usher, a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Pleasure's all mine.
So, it would seem that Miss Lathan has shuffled off the mortal coil, as it were.
I'm sorry to say that is indeed the case.
Please, come in, have a seat. Make yourself comfortable. I only ask that you kindly wash your hands in the basin first, and limit what you touch in here.
This one seems a bit on edge, doesn't he?
Ja, das ist auch so ein Porträt.
Ich finde die Perspektive übrigens mega hier aus dem Buchregal heraus.
Ja.
Gut.
Thank you, Mr. Fordham. I appreciate your cooperation.
Muss noch
Adds a nice
rumgucken.
bit of color to the room.
Guck mal, ja.
Stern-looking lady. Is there anything more boring than books on law? Just reading the titles is making me drowsy.
Tja, dann liest sie halt nicht.
Judging by how full these bottles are, Usher doesn't indulge much. What a waste.
Ist ja auch nicht jeder so ein Säufer wie wir.
Usher seems to like keeping his guests at a distance.
Ja, stimmt, das heißt, ich werde weg. Na dann. Das ist
Mr.
echt
Usher,
ungewöhnlich, ne? So
question
anderthalb
for you.
mal wieder.
And hopefully I have your answers.
Geil. Ach, cooler Bart. Nein, oder?
Nein.
Auf so jemanden spricht man nicht darauf an.
Nee.
What can you tell me about Desiree Lathan?
She was a lovely woman. I'm saddened to hear of her unfortunate passing.
How long had you been her attorney?
She retained me some 10 years ago, I believe.
That's quite a long time.
Yes, I remember I had just gotten over a bout of melancholia and been able to work in nearly a month. I didn't think I'd make it out of that, but luckily things took a turn for the better. Miss Lathan came to see me, and I've served as her attorney ever since.
Would you
Some
say
kind
Miss
of
Lathan is a wealthy woman?
Indeed, I would. Her estate is worth a significant sum. Of course, you understand that this is confidential information, so I cannot tell you the exact amount.
Yes, of course. Can you think of anyone who may have wanted to harm Miss Lathan?
No, I can't. What makes you think that someone actually killed her?
It seems the most plausible explanation.
Miss Lathan was getting on in years. It's likely she may have developed a case of pneumonia. That's the most common killer of the elderly, you know. I had it when I was younger. Most unpleasant. Constant coughing, spitting up phlegm, rattling in the lungs. Thankfully, I made a full recovery.
But supposing that was the cause of death, how would it explain the fact that her body was completely burned?
She was a smoker. Perhaps she was having a cigarette when she died and dropped it on the bed, causing it to catch fire.
I found no cigarette butts at the crime scene.
I'm merely offering my opinion, Mr. Fordham. You can take it or leave it.
I think we should leave it.
Okay. Ja, ne?
I found this letter in Miss Lathan's bedroom, which mentions that she recently changed her will. Could you tell me a bit more about the circumstances surrounding this change?
That's not an uncommon occurrence.
Vielleicht
People
hat der
change their
Maler
wills all the time. Relatives
Teile
and
gekriegt von
friends
der
fall
Familie.
in and out of favor constantly.
Had Miss Lathan made changes to her will previously?
No, this was the first time.
What change did she make exactly?
Just a change to her beneficiary. Nothing out of the ordinary.
And when did this change occur?
About 4 months ago, if I recall correctly. Yes, it was definitely in June, because I'd been in bed with a nasty stomach flu at the end of May. That was no fun, let me tell you. I think I lost nearly 6 pounds from the constant trips to the WC. Couldn't keep a thing down, and whatever did stay down soon came out the other end, if you get my meaning.
I'd say his meaning is regrettably impossible to avoid.
Ja, wer ist
Who
denn
did Miss
jetzt der?
Lathan name as her new beneficiary?
Mr. Fordham, please. You know I couldn't possibly tell you that. There is such a thing as attorney-client privilege.
Okay, jetzt gilt es, das Richtige zu wählen.
Ja.
If she's deceased, she's technically not longer your client. Ist sie? Also wer tot ist, ist doch kein richtiger Klient mehr. Ich weiß nicht. Isn't it suspicious that she died so soon after changing her will?
Ja, eher das.
Tell me or I'll sneeze on you.
Nein, also die Mitte am ehesten.
Ja. Okay.
Weil das
Do you
erste
find
ist ja ein dummes
suspicious,
Argument.
Mr. Usher, that Miss Lathan died under such mysterious
tasten uns
circumstances
doch mal
only
ran.
4 months after naming a new beneficiary? You said yourself she was wealthy. Does it not make sense that someone might have wanted her inheritance?
I suppose it's not entirely out of the question.
Right. So tell me the name of Miss Lathan's beneficiary
What?
so I can determine if this was, in
What?
fact, a murder.
Very well.
Yes!
Yes!
Yeah! Woo!
Interesting.
Do you know him?
Interesting.
His name's come up before in my investigation. Do you have his address?
Yes, it's 775 Pumblechook Place in Chumley.
That'll do nicely. Thank you, Mr. Usher.
Es ist gut, dass wir nämlich erst jetzt gesprochen haben und
Ja.
dann zu ihm sind. Deswegen
Ja,
meinte ich
komm,
das schon.
tschüss.
Thank you for your help, Mr. Usher.
The pleasure is all mine, Mr. Fordham.
Ja, genau, jetzt haben wir nämlich das Motiv.
Ja.
KT. Dann auf in Mr. Device
Did
Residence.
Usher give us the wrong address? This should be 775, but there's no building here.
Aber Bilder.
Yeah, those aren't half bad. Too bad they aren't finished. I wonder if they're going to be used to keep the fire going.
Was steht da? Mr.
Guck mal aufs
I
Graffiti.
used to draw funny pictures of rich people on walls too when I was a kid.
Mr. Rich.
Never did a lick of good, but it would always make me feel better. These aren't in such bad shape, really. As far as the chum goes, this is one of the nicer areas.
Guten Tag.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
Is this 775 Pumblechook Place?
yeah, it would be if the building were still here.
Oh, I see. Might I ask you a few questions?
You can ask.
Ich wollte eigentlich fragen, wo ist denn das Gebäude? Direkt auf ihn, oder?
Do you know Roger DeVay?
Know him? Of course I know him. He lives here with me.
He
What?
does?
Well, whenever he decides to come home, anyway. Rest of the time, I suspect he finds a way to sleep at his job. Me, I do the same, except I can't stand the smell of the horses.
I suppose the university would have plenty of places for one to sleep.
Oh, so he works at the university, does he? Well, I suppose that makes sense with him always putting on airs the way he does. Probably best not to mention me to him. He gets real testy when anyone asks about his situation.
I'll keep that in mind.
Okay, fuck, sein Haus ist abgebrannt und jetzt ist er out of money.
Braucht Geld, macht sich an sie ran, fackelt sie ab. Ist das ein Kind?
Im Hintergrund?
Ja. Ja, Baby
Ja.
Tell me about Roger's artistic pursuits.
Well, not much to tell, really. He used to paint all the time when he had his studio in the building that used to be here. He was good at it, too. Shame nobody ever bought his paintings. All that's left now are those 2 unfinished ones against the back wall there. We use the rest of his spare canvas to make the tent.
How did Roger feel about his paintings not selling?
Well, how do you think? Made him madder in the March air. Didn't do a very good job of hiding his displeasure either. At least none around me. He always used to say he'd find some way or another to make the money he deserved.
He told me he was content with the salary he got from his teaching job.
That's a load of bunkum if I ever heard it. Truth is, old Roger's about as poor as Job's turkey. He'd do anything to make a quick crown.
Well, now, that's certainly interesting.
Ja, reden wir
Do
über
you
das
know a
Anna.
woman named Desiree Lathan?
Nah, I don't know many women. They're not too fond of my company. Well, I don't understand why. I always try to be a perfect gentleman. Guess it just don't got the charm. I've asked Roger to give me a few pointers. He's a big hit with ladies, you know.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. He no sooner looks at 'em than they're falling at his feet. Real natural, that one. Never brings it back here, though. Always winds up staying with him, getting a free meal and a soft bed out of it.
Ja, clever.
Ah, well,
Ja.
the bohemian lifestyle ain't for everyone. Maybe someday my luck will change.
I'm sure it will change the day he decides to take a bath.
Ja, sollen wir hier noch kurz drüber reden?
Ja, meinetwegen.
Bisschen
What's your name,
Backstory,
sir?
oder?
Me? I'm Herman. Herman Shaw.
How long have you been living here?
Oh, I've been here for ages. Since before the building got condemned and was torn down. They pretty much forced us out, you see, but a couple of us came back and set up here. Seemed like a good idea. I had nowhere else to go. That's not so bad, except for when it rains. And I guess we'll have to bundle up a bit more when it gets cold. But other than that, it's like the place was still standing.
There's some of that classic chum ingenuity. Or maybe it's just delusion.
What happened to this place? Why was it condemned?
The building was old, in a pretty sad state, so the inspectors came by and said it was unfit for living. There was a whole lot of us here. Most were able to pick up and go, but a few of us stayed.
Why don't you go to a workhouse?
You wouldn't be asking if you'd ever been inside one. It's wall-to-wall people, children crying, sick folk coughing all over you.
But there's plenty of that out here, too.
Well, sure, but out here, there's freedom. Nobody telling you what to do except the odd copper. Not even many of them in this neighborhood. Besides, this is my home. Just because it's missing a few walls don't mean I ought to
Jetzt
abandon
habe ich
it.
auch eigentlich verstanden, warum die zusammen wohnen. Es war ja gar nicht sein Haus dann, sondern so ein
Nee.
Haus, wo sich Leute halt eingenistet haben quasi.
Ja.
You look somewhat familiar. Didn't I see you protesting outside the Harris construction yard?
Yeah, I was there. What of it?
Were you affected by the Ligeia disaster?
Well, nobody I know was killed, if that's what you mean.
So, why were you protesting the construction of the Lenore?
That Devons fella promised he'd buy us a meal if we stood in the crowd. And for a free meal, I'd do just about anything.
I thank you for your time.
Also,
Maybe
ehrlich.
give us a shilling or two for the trouble?
I'll consider it.
Consider it. Gibt ja diese, da gibt es das Spiel nicht über die Option. Müssen wir jetzt ihn noch konfrontieren oder gehen wir gleich zu Abden? Oh Gott, man da ist.
Ja, das ist schon spannend.
Was ich. Aber dazu komme ich gleich. Erst mal
Excuse
gucken.
me.
Yes.
Could I ask you a few more questions?
Oh ja.
Yes, I suppose so.
Der rennt doch gleich weg, ey. Welche Reihenfolge?
Ja, das
Is it true
Yeah.
that Miss Lathan recently changed her will to make you her beneficiary?
Yes. You can imagine my surprise.
My understanding is she left you quite a significant sum.
I don't see how that's any of your business, but yes, she did. I'm very lucky. Oh, I see what you're getting at. You're thinking I killed her for her money. Is that it?
I never said anything of the sort, Mr. DeBay.
No, but I can see it in your eyes. Look, Desiree considered me the son she never had, and she was like my second mother. I would never, ever even think of doing something so horrid.
Oh, I'm sure he wouldn't.
Okay, Herman.
I've met your roommate, Herman.
I'm sure I have no idea what you're talking about, Mr. Fordham. I have no roommates.
Press further, oder? Ich meine, wir wissen alles.
Really? You don't live at 775 Pumblechook Place in a rather cozy hovel?
How dare you, sir? I've done nothing to deserve such insults. I would appreciate it if you took your leave of me now.
Herman wasn't kidding about this one being proud.
Klar, also sorry, das würde ich auch nicht unbedingt zugeben.
Well, it's fitting that Mr. DeVay is an artist, because I think he's painted us a pretty clear picture of what happened to Miss Lathan.
Also ich bin geneigt.
Also die Frau mit dem Verbrennungsding wird es ja wohl nicht sein.
Nö, das...
Also da fehlt mir das Motiv, die Eifersucht wäre da das Motiv.
Ich überlege gerade, wo man noch hin könnte vorher, was jetzt noch irgendwie auf dem Tableau stimmt.
Wir könnten sie ja nochmal anquatschen mit ihrem Eichhörnchen. Da haben wir ja noch nicht...
Doch, hatten wir dann auch noch... Also gehen wir mal da rein nach. Da haben wir alles durch. Hier sind wir nicht weitergekommen. Mit der haben wir mehrfach gesprochen. Da haben wir alles fertig. In der Bank waren wir. Da kommen wir gerade her. Brandon Magazine ist auch nur das ein bisschen Backstory.
Ja, das brauchten wir, um die zu...
direkt in die Police Station.
Ich glaube eigentlich auch, dass er es war.
Ich bin mir relativ sicher.
Sehr obvious eigentlich.
Ja. Was ich gerade
sage... Er könnte natürlich aus Versehen das Zeug verschüttet haben beim Malen, aber das glaube ich nicht.
Ja, das kann er der Polizei erzählen. Was ich gerade sagen wollte, was ich ein bisschen schade finde, tatsächlich in diesen 3 Fällen bisher, dass in dem Moment, in dem du mehrere Angebote kriegst, wer der Schuldige ist, du dir eigentlich sicher sein kannst, dass es der Erste nicht ist. Dass du relativ schnell eine Schuldigung ausmachst, aber du denkst, na, das ist dann doch relativ wackelig alles und so und dann kommt später noch, ne, je tiefer du gehst, dann kommen weitere Optionen und dann der letzte Schuldige ist es bis jetzt quasi immer auch gewesen. Ne?
Aber ich glaube, es kommt auch, also ich habe mal gelesen, es kommt auch darauf an, in welcher Reihenfolge man manche Sachen macht, dass das nicht immer so ist.
Kam mir jetzt aber zuvor, dass du eigentlich weißt von Anfang an, okay, ich muss eigentlich weiterspielen, um dann den richtigen zu finden.
Got a moment, Upton?
Yes, but let's make this quick.
Okay.
Ja?
Aber so können wir noch
Have a
was
moment to
reviewen.
go over my current case?
I'm afraid you're on your own this time, Fordham.
Okay.
If they find out I'm helping...
Understood.
I'll still be...
Ja. Okay, dann.
I'm done with the Lathan case.
Oh? What have you got?
Ich bin gespannt, ob da doch noch irgendwas übersehen wurde von uns, aber ich würde sagen, Roger DeVay, it is.
She was murdered by Roger DeVay, a professor of art at the university, in order to claim her inheritance. DeVay befriended Miss Lathan and even painted her portrait, but his failure to establish a name for himself and earn a living from his art was driving him mad. Miss Lathan cared for him as a son, and recently changed her will, naming Roger as her sole beneficiary. Roger knew of this, and decided killing Miss Lathan was the best way to solve his financial troubles.
And how did he manage to do so?
Desiree had given him a key to her apartment. While she was out at the Grand Dame's ball, he entered and left a pile of rags soaked in linseed oil under her bed. She arrived home drunk and passed out, unaware that the rags were growing hotter by the minute. Eventually, the oil burst into flames, burning the rag pile as well as poor Miss Lathan.
How awful. Well, I'll certainly pass along the information. What an astounding series of events. Although I'm sorry you won't be able to gloat to Snelling that you solved the case before his detectives did.
I can find other means of amusement, I think.
Good work, Fordham. As usual, I'll send anything else your way as soon as I get it.
Ja, das Ende sehen.
Roger DeVay?
Yes, what is it?
You're under arrest for the murder of Desiree Lathan.
Oh, I see.
Come with me. We need to ask you some questions at the station. And you up there, make yourself decent, would you?
Aha. Oh, wo sind sie vor?
Dearest, I'm back.
There you are. I was starting to get worried you wouldn't make it home in time.
In time? In time for what?
For dinner at the Rutherfords. I told you about it the other night, don't you remember?
I'm terribly sorry, dear. It must have slipped my mind.
How you haven't yet been presented a prize for Husband of the Year is beyond me.
There's still time for you to get ready if you hurry.
Ja, los, hurry.
Yeah, give them my excuse.
Nein.
I'm not in the mood to out. Much rather spend a quiet evening and with you. Perhaps we can reschedule?
Nein.
Dann nehmen wir es mit, ja.
Ja.
Why don't we spend a nice quiet evening in together? I'd much prefer that.
We've had a quiet evening in every night for the past 3 weeks. I need to get out of the house.
Then go ahead without me. Please
Was?
give Anne and Joseph my regrets.
So you're just going to sit here at home by yourself?
I'll probably just catch up on my reading or try and get some sleep.
All right, suit yourself. I shouldn't be home too late, but don't wait up.
Have a wonderful time, my love.
Wir haben keine Wahl.
Ja, das ist schade. Wäre gerne mitgegangen.
Alone at last.
If only I were.
Careful what you wish for, Miles. You just might get it.
Seeing as I won't, I think another trip to the Angel's in order.
Oh, you're gonna break your word in addition to lying?
What?
That's bold.
Nonsense. I'll be home in no time. It'll just be a quick drink to calm my nerves and get you out of my hair.
Nein.
I think I need a machete for that for them.
Very funny.
Nein.
Warum tun wir das?
Ich will das nicht.
That last case was really something. Classic example of murder for money. Such a shame. Perhaps with Roger in jail, Miss Lathan's riches will go to a more worthy cause, like feeding the poor. You're not listening to me, are you? Oh, right, you've had 2 drinks already. Fine, I'll just see myself out.
Copper for your thoughts, Miles?
Oh, nothing in particular. Just having one of those nights. I should probably be getting home.
One last gin for the road?
Nein.
Ah, hell, why not?
Nein. Mann, vor dem.
Das ist so schön mitten in der Nacht.
It's later than I
Es ist
thought.
later.
Addie must be asleep.
Miles, I thought you said you were staying in tonight. What happened to you?
Nothing. I went out for a bit
Oh,
and lost track of time.
Miles, you're dead drunk.
No, of course I'm not.
Blödes Spiel.
Don't you
Aber sie
dare
klatscht
keep
ihm
lying
ein.
to me,
Ja.
Miles. It's obvious. I can smell it on you.
But I'm not drunk. I only had 2, I think.
I don't care how many you had. You promised me this wouldn't happen again. Where exactly did you go tonight anyway?
Ja, sei ehrlich.
Ja. Ach, jetzt dürfen wir ehrlich sein. Ja.
I was at the Angel.
The Angel? But why would you go there?
I suppose I was just trying to relive the old days.
So why didn't you tell me you were going?
I don't know.
Miles, this has to stop. First it was that sleep medicine, now you've started to go out drinking yourself into a stupor after you explicitly promised me you wouldn't again. It's clear that you've been keeping something from me and using drugs and drink as a way to avoid dealing with it.
No, really, it's just...
No, Miles. I'm tired of the lies. I heard what you said when I came home from my appointment with Mrs. Lefebvre. God forbid Adelaide ever find out about something. I wanted to think I'd imagined it, so I let it go. But I've come to realize just how wrong I was.
Bitte sag ihr die Wahrheit.
Addie, please.
Enough. No more excuses, no more lying. I just want to hear the truth. What is it you're not telling me?
Jetzt sag ihr bitte die Wahrheit.
Ja. Aber alles beginnt mit if I tell you.
Ja, okay, aber if I tell you...
You think I'm crazy. You never believe me. You wouldn't understand.
Nee, auf keinen Fall das
Ersteres?
Letzte. Das erste würde ich auch sagen, ja.
I can't tell you, Addie. I'm sorry, but if I do, you'll think I'm crazy.
Do you know what I think is crazy, Miles? The fact that you think it necessary to lie to your own wife. Am I to believe that for all these years you've never felt you could trust me?
Of course not. It's just that this is different.
A lie is a lie, Miles. And the bottom fact is you've been lying to me for months. Perhaps I was too naive or too distracted to see what was really going on, but you finally opened my eyes. This can't go on. I refuse to let it go on.
What are you saying?
Get out, Miles. And don't come back until you're ready to tell me the truth.
Oh, come on. Ich bin sowas von ready.
You don't mean that.
I do mean it, Miles. I don't care where you spend the night, but it's not going to be here. If you ever decide you want to tell me what's going on, I'll listen. But until then, just go.
Erzähl's ihr doch, du Idiot!
Das ist echt ein bisschen...
Ich glaube, die Frau würde das... Aber ich verstehe das. Oh nein. Aber ich verstehe das. Ich meine, du hättest auch Angst. Also,
total, aber es ist halt voll unbefriedigend. Vom Writing her.
Geht er jetzt so...
Nein,
ja, ich
wirklich.
wusste es. So Upton, oder?
Ja.
Take me away from all my
Upton.
troubles. So far away from all the worries in my life. Who in the ether is
Dieser Mix aus der
calling
Stimme
at this
dann.
time of night? Miles, please come in. It's so nice to see you outside of work.
Oh. Hey, hi.
Oh, I get a hug and a kiss? Is that how it works now?
You put up your rough and tough attitude, but I know deep down you're really a kitten.
Upton, are you drunk?
No, of course not. I admit I like to have a glass of wine or 6 to unwind after work, but I can hold my own.
Well, I'm glad you're not, because I am.
Wait, what's going on? Is everything all right?
No, I'm afraid I've made a mess of things at home. Addie threw me out.
Oh, Miles. I'm terribly sorry to hear that.
Not as sorry as I am, believe me.
What happened?
It's really not worth getting into. Let's just say I need to figure some things out about my life.
Don't we all?
Constance, I hate to impose, but...
Of course you can stay here, Miles. As long as you need to.
Thank you. I won't need much space. That chair in the corner should do nicely.
Are you sure? You won't be uncomfortable?
Ja, wir
I've
schlafen auf
slept in
dem
worse
Sitzen ein.
places, believe me.
All right. Well, I should probably be getting to bed. Early morning tomorrow and all that.
Of course. Have a good night, Upton. And thank you again for letting me stay.
Not a problem. Good night.
Das ist 2 Besoffene, Alter.
Das ist so cool. Ne?
Ja, das ist so nett.
Eine Woche danach.
Ja. Ich würde sagen, das ist auch ein gutes.
Aber jetzt passiert ja was.
Election night. The perfect opportunity to switch out one rich swindler for another. Don't know why you're wasting your time. It's not as though the Prime Minister actually does anything. It's oddly quiet in here. Maybe my mustache drawing campaign had an effect after all.
Good evening, sir. Are you registered to vote?
Yes, I am. Here's my registration card.
Very good, Mr. Fordham. You've come at an excellent time. Go ahead and step inside a booth. Take as long as you need.
Thank you, young man.
Also so eine Wahlentscheidung, die sollte man ja nicht...
Besoffen.
Besoffen sind wir hoffentlich nicht mehr, aber da sollte man vorher mal gut drüber nachdenken, ne?
Das heißt, wir machen das in der nächsten.
Wir lassen uns nochmal alle Optionen durch den Kopf gehen, wen wir wählen wollen. Lesen nochmal die Wahlprogramme, gehen nochmal in uns, denn wählen ist wichtig.
Ja.
Und vor allen Dingen bedacht wählen. In diesem Sinne.
Bis dann.
Tschüss.